Goering on trial. The Nuremberg evidence that convicted the last Nazi leader. 1946. Europe lies in ruins, yet one final battle remains, not fought with tanks or rifles, but with evidence, testimony, and truth. In the city of Nuremberg, behind walls once draped in banners of conquest, the world gathers to judge the architects of unprecedented destruction. And at the center sits a man who once believed himself untouchable, a man who claimed he had no conscience. This is the evidence that shattered Hermann Goering. This is how the last Nazi leader was finally brought to justice. The man who would be king. Before the rise of the Reich, before the terror, Hermann Goering was a hero, a World War I flying ace, a decorated veteran, a man who tasted glory long before he tasted power. But history has shown that some men are not destroyed by their failures. They are destroyed by their ambitions. Goering aligned himself with Adolf Hitler early, seeing in him a path back to national prestige and to personal dominance. He commanded the Luftwaffe, built the Gestapo, bathed himself in uniforms, jewels, and stolen art. He was the heir to the Führer, the second most powerful man in the Nazi Empire. And yet, on May 9, 1945, he surrendered smiling, expecting respect. But the Allies had no intention of honoring him. To them, he was not statesman. He was prisoner number one. The stage at Nuremberg. The Allies chose judgment over vengeance. Not a firing squad, but a courtroom. For the first time in human history, leaders of a fallen regime would be tried before the world. Crimes against peace. War crimes. Crimes against humanity. And in the center of the dock, Hermann Goering, smirking, whispering, orchestrating. To him, Nuremberg was not a trial. It was a stage. But on the other side stood Robert H. Jackson, U.S. Supreme Court Justice, a man determined to prove guilt not with anger, but with documents, with signatures, with the Nazis' own words, the mountain of evidence. The Nazi regime left behind a trail of paper thicker than any battlefield fog. Memos, orders, minutes, ledgers. Their own obsession with documentation will become the weapon that destroyed them. Evidence 1, the Reichstag fire minutes, a secret meeting where Hitler and Goering used a burning parliament to strangle democracy in its cradle, proving Goering's role in the destruction of the German Republic. Evidence 2, the final solution authorization, a letter dated July 31st, 1941, signed by Goering himself. A cold instruction to SS Commander Reinhard Heydrich, ordering preparations for the total solution of the Jewish question. Bureaucratic words masking an ocean of human suffering. With this single signature, Goering placed the machinery of genocide into motion. Evidence 3, the economic plunder. Records of stolen art, gold, industry, entire nations drained to fuel the war machine Goering oversaw. He once boasted, "I intend to plunder and plunder copiously." And the evidence proved he did exactly that. The cross-examination. Goering believed he could out-talk the prosecution. At first, he did. He lectured. He joked. He maneuvered. Jackson struggled. The courtroom felt the shift. But then a calm, razor-sharp British prosecutor stepped forward. Sir David Maxwell Fyfe. He had no interest in speeches. No patience for theatrics. He asked for dates, signatures, orders. One question after another, precise, unrelenting, pinned Goering in place. The escape and murder of 50 Allied airmen, the deportation of Jews, the crushing of dissent. Every denial met with a document. Every lie met with his own handwriting. For the first time, Hermann Goering broke. His smirk faded, his confidence drained. He was no longer the master of the Reich. He was a man buried under the weight of his own crimes. The verdict, October 1st, 1946. The courtroom fell silent. Guilty on all counts. Conspiracy, crimes against peace, war crimes, crimes against humanity. The judgment called his guilt unique in its enormity. Sentenced to death, led away in silence, but true to his nature. Goering refused even this final accountability. Hours before his execution, He swallowed a hidden cyanide capsule. A final act of cowardice. A last attempt to control his fate. Conclusion, the legacy. The trial of Hermann Goering was more than the judgment of one man. It established the principle that even the most powerful leaders are not above the law. It created the legal foundation for crimes against humanity. The evidence presented against him, the cold, bureaucratic records of atrocity, stands as a permanent testament to banality of evil and a warning that words on paper, signed by the right hand, can unleash hell on earth. If this story moved you, join the journey. Like, share, and subscribe for more untold history story.